Hey guys, what's up? Today I want to talk about the Jada Toys Street Fighter collection because these toys look promising, like really promising. Let's get into it. Hey guys, what's going on? A couple days ago, I had a day off work, okay? And I decided to spend it toy hunting. And I have an entire... I feel like we've reached a point where... retail store hunting, retail toy hunting is pointless. I did an entire video for TikTok. Maybe I'll post it here later. It's about 9 minutes or something like that. But basically, I went all over the place and I found stuff that was marked up. That why would I spend the money in the first place? It was marked up. It was way more than it was supposed to be. And I also spent the day finding a bunch of stuff that was either A, the same stuff we'd always seen before, or B, was in poor condition regardless, and just one issue after another. It was just the way that it was. And I came across these two figures in FYE. And they were being sold for $50 a piece. That's $150 to get the current line, which is only 3 figures. It's Fei Long, it's Ryu, and it's Chun-Li. I was able to find, after running around quite a bit that day, to the point where the gas probably cost me like more than the shipping. It's guaranteedly cost me more than what the shipping would have been from Big Bad at $4 shipping. It just, you get the idea. And so what happened was I passed on those, of course, and then I went roaming around until finally I came across a fair-priced $25 a figure set. These two. They did not have Chun-Li. I will have to purchase Chun-Li from Big Bad and have her sent to me and finish the collection at a later point. But if these go over well, this is my ticket to Street Fighter collecting. See, Street Fighter... that's a game that has been straight up embedded in my history. I used to be good at Street Fighter, and I would argue that in the normal, like, I say normal, that's not a fair term, to be fair. In the original Street Fighter games, like Part 2, to me that's original. Nobody I knew in my childhood actually played Part 1. Like, literally nobody. We all started on Part 2. I remember when I seen it in the arcade. I remember when I very first played it. I remember the very first defeats. I remember my first victories. And I remember getting so good at that game that I actually started qualifying in local tournaments and winning some of them. I was good at the original Street Fighter 2 game. Let me preface that. Original might be wrong. I was good at the new Challengers Street Fighter 2 game, because specifically I used Cammy and Fei Long. Those were the two characters that I used the most. I did have a stint where I really focused on Ken. I felt that Ken was superior to Ryu because I liked that Ken could combo into his moves and out of his moves easily, so Ken could easily throw the kick and then immediately come off the kick into the uppercut, or come off the kick into like 2 straights and then like a duck where he throws out another straight, or you finish off with that low kick and then you go into the uppercut. So you could get like these mad combos with Ken, and that was the first character that I started learning to combo with. Well, regardless of any of that, Street Fighter 2 and these characters in general have a big place in my life history. They were one of my all-time favorite games, and they were my gateway to understanding just how big things were past the surface. And I did an entire video on that a long while back. We're talking a long while back, but I believe it's called like Cammy was my gateway. I'll try to put it in there. Cammy was my gateway to fandom. It was like the first time that I went searching for something and then discovered that this property that I liked was way bigger than I realized. Like, way bigger than I realized. And then I started getting into all the fundamentals and the backgrounds and the characters, and before I knew it, This property was way bigger than I ever thought possible. And from that point, all the way up to the end of Street Fighter 4, I have not played Street Fighter 5. Well, that's not fair. I played Street Fighter 5 a little bit, but did not actually jump into it. And that's not me hating the game. Circumstances, I came across a point in my life where I'm not really playing games with people, and playing fighting games by myself just seemed kind of meh, so I skipped on 5. Hopefully I'll jump back in with this new Street Fighter that's coming out and then really bring myself back into Street Fighter, because I love Street Fighter. Skipping 5 has often felt like this weird down point in my life where like I skipped something that I know I would have enjoyed very much, but I let myself get hounded into the idea I'm going to play it alone. Chances are I was going to do that. So, all of this information tells you why this would be a very important line for me. I really hope that I'm about to open these and they turn out to be the absolute foundation of a whole new Street Fighter collection for the shelf. So I got big hopes for these guys. Let's get in here and let's check them out. And just looking at them, I mean, these look like they're going to be promising. Alright, here they are. So, before we even start this, I got a straight light that's actually beaming on them right now, and I figured that's important because I've noticed that we've had problems in the past with some of the autofocus. It seems like it often wants to autofocus into the back, and sometimes I don't correct it in time, and we're going to hope that with this new light, we can solve some of that problem and also illuminate and get a lot more of the details out and stuff like that when I'm trying to show off higher details. So we'll see how this goes. Right off the bat, I want to talk about these boxes because they are fantastic. I am in love with the fact that they come in arcade cabinets. Like, this is so cool. It's almost like you're on a character select screen. I don't know for sure. I might be keeping one of these. I don't know. I may keep these backgrounds and use them as part of the display wherever I decide to put these characters. I don't know. This is really cool. And like right off the bat, like I said, I'm really into the fact that there's an actual, that's his stage right there. That's Ryu's stage right there. I think that is absolutely unbelievable. It's a 2-player cabinet. It's got the little side art going on right here, which is the same for both of them. They didn't change that or anything like that. It's got a character portrait at the bottom, which is absolutely awesome because it is very much ripped right off the original game. So that's really cool. That is this. Also, this side is really cool as well. It's the same for him, so that's nothing that's too different, except for this part right here. It says country of origin, Hong Kong, fighting style, kung fu, where this, for some reason, is a whole mess of things. I'm not sure why Ryu's box was different than Fei Long's box. I'm not sure why all the other languages were not printed here. I don't know if there's a reason for that, but like I said, I don't have that information, so I'm not 100% sure what's going on. But Ryu has all this stuff. So country of origin, Japan, fighting style, martial arts rooted in Ansatsuken. I probably said that incredibly wrong. Let me look at that again. Ansatsuken? I don't know. I'm probably incredibly incorrect on that. I've never been necessarily good with pronouncing words in general. And this is also the same too. This says made in China. This says made in China. So that's not any different. And the bottom down here, like I said, there's a lot more print on Ryu than there is on Fei Long. I don't know why that is. That's very interesting to me. It makes me wonder if there was a first run of these and then a second run had to be put out, and the second run maybe had to be had to have all the international on it. I don't know. That's very interesting. I'm truly intrigued as to what happened with that and why. Because this is all, no, this is different. So this is different too, which I kind of like this. So it kind of look, there's Ryu in the front because this is the one you just bought. There's Fei Long in the front because this is the one you just bought. Cool. Minor differences, but all in all, the box is really cool. And I personally feel like I want to pick one of these to keep because I love the idea that they're they are an arcade cabinet. I think that's really cool. In fact, I'm almost curious if once I get them out, if I may be able to pose them inside the box. No, I don't think they'd be able to turn sideways well enough to like get a fighting scene. But they're really cool. The boxes are absolutely, they're astounding. They're astounding. This is a really, really cool idea. And I'm thinking I need to open it from the bottom because I have a feeling that the way, no, maybe not. I don't know. I might open it from the bottom regardless. It just makes me feel safer about pulling the stuff out and then getting the stuff back in there or whatever if I want to get the stuff back in there. So, let's open these. Okay, here we are. They are unboxed and they look fantastic. Like, it's very impressive. Each one of them came with a background, which is pretty cool. And they don't take up way too much space. I mean, really, in terms of action figures, this could be problematic. If I'm doing each one like this, I could run out of space on the shelf very fast. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do here. I'll figure it out as I go. I might keep these. I might use them as an overall 100% background. I didn't mean to actually kick the camera there. I might use them as an overall background or backdrop to whatever shelf I end up putting all of them on. But if the box is to be believed and this line goes the distance, here's hoping that it does, we've got an awful lot of characters coming. And some of them that might even need to be put into a different classification and be like, what do you call them? Deluxe figures. Because characters like T-Hawk and whatnot are going to be pretty big, you would imagine, right? I don't know. We'll figure that out. As this line goes, I'm sure we'll figure that out. And as first impressions go, for this line, this is highly impressive. So, let's start with Ryu. Ryu is pretty much the face of the franchise, so if you mess that character up, you're done, right? You don't get a second try. You mess up Ryu, you're done. So let's see how they did in general for Ryu. Let me get up here and check this out. So, little details right off the bat. His hair is fantastic. I mean, it's got an awful lot of movement, not movement, but just like, there's a lot of feature here. It's all kind of wild and everything. You're seeing I'm turning his head. It turns very easy. His head is a very soft plastic, actually. Wow, he can look way down. He can look up. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. This is not a piece that's separate. It's a piece that's like actually part of him. That I wasn't expecting, but maybe that's a benefit because it's not something that's going to fall off of him later on and then you're going to lose and you're going to wonder where it ever went. All of this feels like a fabric, but it feels different. It's a different kind of plastic, and this overshirt right here is very malleable. It very much moves all over the place and gives you a lot of freedom. I really like this belt and this effect right here where they have this written choreography, calligraphy, I believe. Or, no, maybe not calligraphy. It could just be writing in general, showing my cultural ignorance here real quick. I think it's called calligraphy, though. I can't remember. And then he's got the double elbow, which is something that I like about figures. Always like these. I imagine. Yep, looks like he's got a lot of bend, too. He can reach all the way up, kind of scratch his head. This looks different, by the way. There's just enough detail here on the fist and everything that it kind of feels like a different material, which that's really cool. I love that separation and everything. There's veins in his muscles, so we got a lot of detail here. The sculpt on his chest, all the muscles that line in and everything and come down, even on his neck. This guy has a tremendous amount of detail. For a $25 figure, this guy is amazing. Now, I had debated buying Storm Collectibles to start my run on Street Fighter collecting. Then I saw these guys, and I crossed my fingers pretty hard, because this is going to go one of two ways. These guys are going to be tremendous, or they're going to be too cheap, and I wasted my money. But sometimes, if you can save some money, right? Especially, you know how things are going. We would like to save money right now. I personally feel like these guys so far, once I crack them out and everything, we got the knee. He can kick his own butt. He can kick his own butt. Yeah, this guy has a tremendous amount of movement. I don't think there's a single pose that you won't be able to do. We got a straight up Van Damme splits going on here, and this does not get in the way when he does it. I think the shirt comes off, though I am not going to take it off. Yeah, it looks like the belt unhooks right here. I'm not going to take it off. My Ryu is not going to be shirtless at any time, in all honesty. This is very impressive. It's got a lot of movement. It's got a lot of possibility. I don't see any pose that I wouldn't be able to do. He came with Hadouken hands, and he came with another head, a more serious, angry face head. Look at that. Dang, look at that. That is angry right there. That's really cool, actually. I like that a lot. That's a good Hadouken head. That's a good staring you down face. And each figure seems to have come with an effect. So he comes with a Hadouken, and I was not expecting this. The Hadouken has little hands inside of it. You see that? Let me see if I can... There you go. See that? There are little hands inside the Hadouken. So if we were to set up the pose, right? If we were to set up the pose and put the Hadouken in front of him, he could shoot it, and it would look as if it was coming at you, and the Hadouken was transparent. It's mildly transparent, but not to that effect. And it looks very much like the Hadouken of the Super Nintendo. And that's cool because it's just enough detail without it boring into like reality. And it looks very much like a Super Nintendo effect, which I think is really cool. Ryu is 100% passable. He's an absolutely fantastic figure. The best Ryu I've ever put on my shelf. And actually, I think that's 100% true, because the only other one I ever had was a tiny statue that I got for buying one of the games. I never had, like, a Ryu figure, like, ever. Next, Fei Long. This is one that I was looking forward to. When I seen him, that caught my attention. I immediately was like, I'm going to check out this line. Because if you do Fei Long right, you have my attention. There's only one other character that I really need to see. I really need to see Chun-Li, because I need to know if she lives up to my expectation, because design-wise, I think she's one of the greatest figures, one of the greatest designs in fighting game female characters ever in the entire history of all fighting games. I really do. I love the elegance and the toughness of her. I just really think she's cool. He's got this straight up, look at that face, man. Nobody likes you. Look at, oh my gosh. Like, I'm probably changing that face out. I'm not loving the pouty lips. I know what they're going for with it, but I'm not a huge fan of it. The hair, once again, very good. I got a little bit of scuffing on the paint for my guy, but not enough that it's going to make me mad or anything like that. Once again, we've got bicep effects and whatnot, so he's got some veins in his muscles. The detail here is fantastic, and it looks like this is a different body. I'm pretty sure, as a matter of fact, looking at the two guys, they do not have the same body. They may be reusing arms with different paint, but I don't think these bodies are the same. I think he's a little bit bigger. Maybe it's an optical illusion, but I don't know. That really looks like we're dealing with two different bodies right here, which, if we're that early in the line and we're already differentiating size of characters by body scales, that's amazing. That's good. That's going to show absolute tremendous promise for this line. We have another head for this figure right here, and let me get this one. That's a more solid face. It's got the kind of like the more stern. He's kind of looking and everything, and then he's got like the mouth with the teeth showing and everything. I really like that head right there. That's probably the one I'm going to use the most. Though, the longer I'm sitting here, this is not bothering me as much as it did in box, but I'm still thinking that I'm going to be changing that out. He, of course, came with his own background. He comes with Kung Fu pose hands, and he comes with the fire leg. This is wild. I don't know what else I could do with this, but this is supposed to be for that kick that he does, so let's put that in here. Let's bring his arms back. Let's see if I can get this just, woo-doo! Put that fire leg on him, and there it is, man. There's that ridiculous fire leg. Woo-wow! And he spins around. Look at that. That is sick. That is absolutely sick. That is really cool that he comes with that fire leg, and you could, like, he has the movement. If I really want to mess with him and I want to pull up the old sprite and everything and check him out, there's no doubt in my mind that I can make that kick 100%. Without a doubt, I can make that kick. And the fact that his leg, this is just transparent enough that you can see the leg inside, or you could create whole new kicks, like a straight up, because Bruce Lee was known for throwing that side kick. You could do like a straight up what, and just straight up do that side kick as a whole new kind of move for Fei Long. That would be awesome. Put maybe this hand like this and bring this one out where it kind of looks like this hand or whatever. The possibilities that I'm already seeing are tremendous. You could set up almost any scene that you could imagine with these guys, and I think that you'll get it without a doubt. And he could easily do his fighting poses and everything. He's got the movement, he's got the hands, he's got the other face. Like, I like these pants. These pants, you see the detail here that we're looking at when we see like that is really tremendous. It's different from the shoes. They went through the trouble of sculpting all this different little detail and really making the pants stand out as if they were pants. Like, oh, and by the way, thank you for actually putting all this stuff on the bottom of his feet instead of on his butt. Like, I believe it was Jack's Toys that the last video game stuff that I bought was Zelda, and I was a little irritated when I bought the Zelda figures, and on their butts and legs, there was a lot of print on them, which I would have to like paint over them to get them the way that I want them or whatever. It made my photography stuff pretty difficult when I was doing shots with them, because I had to find just the right movements so that you would never see all the type and text that was on them. These figures, they're impressive. I think that this is perfectly acceptable to start my line. So, there you go. Street Fighter figures from Jada Toys, and they look solid. These are really impressive figures at $25. That puts them in the same range as Marvel Legends. In fact, Marvel Legends are starting to cost more than that. So Jada Toys is holding their price down and still producing some absolutely fabulous pieces. These are solid figures. I've paid a lot more and gotten less on figures. So I am reasonably impressed. And with most lines like this, they start and then they usually get better as they develop new techniques and they learn from things that didn't work with one figure as opposed to another, and so on and so forth. So I'm very interested to see where this goes and all the effects that we're going to get. That is going to be cool. Like, I imagine Blanca will come with electricity. I mean, right? Wouldn't that be right? Maybe Vega comes with for the claws, maybe he comes with a slight blood effect, or maybe just like a wind current thing for the claws. That would be cool. Cammy should come so that you can put her, she needs like a stand of some sort so that you can put her in the cannon heel. Or if we're doing the cannon spike, which personally the cannon spike doesn't have an effect. It's just an up kick, which is cool, but it doesn't have an effect in the original Street Fighter 2 stuff. Now, the cannon spike did. So if you get all that effect that curves around her and everything, that's going to be a sick effect. That's going to be absolutely cool. It's one of the characters that I'm very looking forward to. I could speculate all day as to what we're going to see coming. I know Chun-Li comes with a multiple kick thing. That's the last figure I have to hunt down from this line current. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they do in the future. And Jada is really knocking it out of the park. I hope I'm saying their name right, because this Jada Toys seems really, really cool. Maybe it's Jada. I don't know. I believe it's Jada Toys. Anyways, they're also doing a set of Mega Man figures that look to be absolutely brilliant. So I'm expecting nothing but the best coming out of this toy department so far, because these guys, in terms of first impressions and the amount of range of movement and everything, because I didn't even get into this, they have these inside shoulders that allow them to move forward so they can do like different things like this. I didn't even talk about that. Both Ryu and Fei Long have those. So this is just shocking. And if you haven't noticed, they stand. They stand easily. Do you guys? I didn't even pay attention. Yeah, and they have holes in the bottom of their feet, so if they didn't stand, they will fit in most stands. Right when I'm talking about it, he friggin' falls over. There, stand. I love figures that stand. I love them. Can't get over them. I love them when they stand, because I had to do an entire video talking about how figures keep falling over, so I went and bought these stands. And I plan to make that a normal thing, is buying those stands, in all honesty. I don't think that I'm going to stop doing that because, well, quite frankly, there's a lot of figures that won't stand. But I can correct that as we go. This is absolutely fantastic. I love these a lot. And I'm very much now looking forward to where we go from here, because if this was any indication, this line is just going to be fantastic. And I think I'll be coming in here as they come out the best that I can, of course. Just a guy. I only make what I make, and I gotta root that money between things that interest me that are coming right now and things that interest me that I'm behind on, and so on and so forth. And so, I mean, my money can only stretch so far, but I'm going to try to keep up with this line best I can, because these guys have caught my attention, and this is definitely something I want the whole line. Every single fighter from the Super Nintendo games, from Street Fighter 2 into Ultra Street Fighter 2, like the HD remastery, I want all of those characters. That is my world of Street Fighter, and I would love to put them all of them on the shelf. Absolutely tremendous. I'm very much looking forward to what this line does from this point going forward. So, that, I have now added Ryu and Fei Long to the shelf. I'm going to get out of here.
I have spoken. Take what you will from it.